Hi everybody, thank you for watching this video. This is my personal journey, my 9-month experience of my second pregnancy and what I consider the pillars of my conscious pregnancy. And I really felt the call to share this today on what is my due date, which you may or may not know that due dates are just a guesstimate ball range of when baby's going to come. But I wanted to get this in time while I was still pregnant to share all of the wonderful tools that have helped me during this time, first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, leading up to birth, because I know that this can help so many women to just bypass so many what I consider mistakes that I had made before, or discomforts, and also wonderful ways to empower and have more health and vibrancy and radiance throughout this beautiful sacred journey that is your pregnancy. So whether you're pregnant or you know someone that is pregnant, please share this video because I felt the call to share this, and you never know how much help this can give somebody. Okay, so the first pillar of a conscious pregnancy for me is a whole foods plant-based diet. And this is a pretty much vegan diet. And so if you're wondering if you can have a healthy pregnancy on a vegan diet, here is your sign. Absolutely. Yes, you can. This is my second pregnancy. And the key with this is to be nourished and at the same time be healthy. So there's a difference between, junk food, vegan, and, whole foods, plant-based, which just means real food, things that grow from the ground, things like vegetables and fruits and grains and seeds and nuts, natural oils, and so forth. That's your baseline. In my opinion, that's what helped me, is to have that diet. And then also, coming from my background, I am a certified raw vegan chef, and I love to eat living foods because they give us life. And as we're creating life in our body, it is only so much more helpful to have that enzymatic rich living nutrition that comes from raw foods. So throughout my pregnancy, I would go on raw food cleanses. I didn't have a fully raw pregnancy because I wanted to be flexible, and I also wanted to honor, my need for more calories, which can be easier on a cooked food diet simply because of the lack of prep that can happen sometimes. And as your mood and energy shifts throughout pregnancy, sometimes you're super prepared with all of the raw food snacks and everything, and sometimes you're not, and that's fine. You don't want to be too rigid. So I did do various times. I did raw food cleanses ranging from a day to a week, sometimes even 2 weeks. And that is always combined, just like with any diet, any pregnancy, with these supplements. Now, what I recommend is real food supplements made out of superfoods, natural supplements. One of the things that I used for folic acid, an Ayurvedic herb that helps to tonify the female organs and hormones, is shatavari. So I highly recommend shatavari. you can have it in powder or you can have it in tablets. Always, of course, best to get organic. And this is also an adaptogenic, so it helps you to calm down as well. It's very, very helpful in that way. And of course, pregnancy tea, drink as much of that as you can, which is the raspberry leaf tea. Making sure to be hydrated all of the time, especially with living hydration, things like fresh coconut water, things like cold pressed juices, especially green juices. I find personally that when I've been pregnant, sugar has been sometimes great and sometimes not so great. So I find that the green juices made it easier to drink, to digest. Of course, lots of fresh smoothies and nut milks, ideally freshly made or preservative-free. Prenatal yoga, specifically Khalsa Way. And this style of prenatal yoga is inspired from Kundalini Yoga, the style that I teach in. And it is a beautiful practice that gently opens up your body, creating space that warms up your spine gently. There's a lot of side stretches to create, this opening. You tend to sort of want it coming into this contracted space because your body's going through so much. And so to open that in a very flowy way, almost like a dance, it's such a beautiful practice. And it's not just what you're doing physically, even though that is a huge part of it, getting some relief. But it's working also mentally and energetically at the same time. So it's just like you get all of these benefits at once. There's also lots of preparation for birth in this practice that really helps your mind. So especially if you want to have a natural birth, these are the ways that we train ourselves to have the strength and courage. And also the body to be healthy and strong enough. So things like the Khalsa Way squats, something that you want to do almost every day if possible. The keep up exercises are amazing, and I hope to continue doing those past prenatal. And it's essentially these 3-minute arm exercises, because contractions don't last any longer than 3 minutes, of keeping your arms up in the air and doing different motions. And that gives your subconscious mind a framework of how to overcome sensations of perceived as pain, and to bring in that inner strength, reminding yourself that labor doesn't last forever, and it's more of a experiential training than it is a logical thought or memorization. So it's been immensely helpful for me and very doable for anybody. So that I highly recommend. It also uses the breath work, gentle breath work, of course, for pregnancy, which helps you to calm down your nervous system, your emotions, which can go haywire, of course, throughout pregnancy. And then chanting and singing and sound healing. So powerful for me to help move energy and move emotions, and just get a total mind, body, soul clearing. Can't recommend it enough. If you need more guidance in that direction, definitely send me a message, because that has been my life's work for the past few years, and I would love to help in any way that I can. Staying away from any stimulants, of course. This is medical recommendation, not having staying away from caffeine or having very little. What I find is that a little bit of cacao was fine, but not too much. And you'll know because you get dizzy. At least that's how it was for me. Um, and then stress, just making the space in your life to be stress-free. If there's ever a time where you deserve it, it is now. It is during your pregnancy. So staying away from toxic environments, toxic situations, toxic people, shelter yourself and set boundaries. And this pregnancy really taught me that, and it's something that I think we should all do, whether we're pregnant or not. When you're pregnant, okay, you are very attuned to your intuition, your mama instinct, and then in higher level, your intuition. Perhaps you're like me, that you found you've had a deeper connection to animals, to plants, to other small children as well. And so that's something to definitely explore and learn from. And one of the ways that this happens too is through dreams. So I found it very helpful to have a dream practice and to have a journal. Journaling, whether it's about dreams or not, highly recommended. So journaling, and then journaling your dreams is very, very helpful to get some insight, to decode those dreams and that symbolism. Another way to tune into your intuition is to go out into nature as much as you can. Like I mentioned, the animal connection. Notice what animals appear. Birds, lizards, whatever it is in the area that you are, and not even just asking for something to happen, but just tuning in to the elements, the breeze, your connection to Mother Earth. It's so, so nourishing and helps to ground and to also remove a lot of the stress and positive ions, which are not so positive. Daily rituals such as the prenatal yoga that I spoke about, or just a gratitude practice, lighting a candle, lighting some incense, saying a prayer, setting your intentions in the morning or at night, talking to your baby, visualizing, having that connection, meditating, breath work. These rituals are so powerful at this time. Communicating transparently your emotions with your partner or with your support person, whoever that may be. Be totally honest, allow yourself to be. There's nothing that you want to hold in. You always want to feel that acceptance and that support for what you're going through, which is pure magic, okay? And even though many of us have to continue working and many of us find joy in working, and I continued to work in my area of which I love to help and share people with, but also coming into a space more of being rather than doing is really important for pregnancy, because again, it leads to the stress factor, and stress is not good for the baby either. Happy mom, happy baby. So by just one of my favorite quotes is, "The world is ruled by letting things take their course." So this sense of acceptance and surrender and letting go is one of the gifts that I've learned throughout my pregnancy. some words that make me think of my first, second, and third trimester. For the first trimester, it's disconnect, as you go through so many changes and shifts and often experience a lot of discomforts and nausea. It's a time to go within and honor that journey of transformation. So disconnecting a little bit from the outside world and allowing that time, again, being overdoing. For the second trimester, express. So you start to feel this fluttering of life within you, and you start to nest and create a sacred space for your child. And it's a time to celebrate and explore and share as much as you can. And then for the third trimester, my word is rest. You don't want to, you don't need to isolate yourself per se, but you do need to start recognizing the changes that are happening, and save up your energy, especially for labor that is coming up soon, and very soon for me. Community. Okay, I don't know how many women I've talked to that totally isolate themselves during pregnancy. I say do the opposite. Find other moms if you don't have them, or find birth workers, doulas, friends, sisters that you can relate with, and that see and hear you for this journey that you're on. This is incredibly powerful. The recommendations that you'll get for your child by speaking to like-minded people are invaluable. And certain ceremonies I highly recommend, such as a blessing way. If you don't know, a blessing way is a sort of a sacred ritual that is conducted by a friend or a teacher for you and planned for you. It's sort of like a spiritual baby shower, and it's beautiful. I actually had 2 of them, one for my family and friends, and then one just for women in my life. And it is incredibly profound for your psychology, for your sense of support, and my opinion, a non-negotiable. Even if it's just a small amount of people, make sure to do a blessing way, and you can do it within your baby shower, or you can do it separate from your baby shower. I did both. So definitely put that on your list for a blessing way, or if you know a pregnant woman, plan her a blessing way. It will do very good for you. Okay? Which, by the way, through community, you'll also get recommendations for birth workers. I learned this because in my first pregnancy, I did not look for recommendations. I just found the closest individual, and it wasn't exactly what I had in mind. Now, this time around, I asked community, friends, and people in this arena, and I found the best midwife for me that I possibly could, as well as a doula who has become one of my close friends now. So, this through recommendation and community, then you'll actually be able to plan your birth in a way that is more aligned to you. So, for me, that meant natural, drug-free home birth, and very conscious pregnancy. So As a side note, 2 things to add to this list. One of them is, if you can, do all of the supportive natural therapies. I know some women do acupuncture or chiropractic. For me, I found that sensory deprivation float tanks were amazing. So that was a really wonderful way to meditate, especially if you've never meditated before, or even if you have. It really helps you to go deep, process emotions, and connect to your child. Also get relief in your body as well. And then finally, not all through those practices that I mentioned of connecting to your intuition, such as the yoga, meditation, breath work, communing with nature, writing down your dreams, journaling, so forth, you can start to listen to that inner voice that guides you, that knows exactly what your baby needs, and therefore you can take in other people's good intentions, but not necessarily be negatively influenced or affected with a lot of the advice that will come your way, whether that is reacting against it or going with it and not really tuning into yourself. So that is a really important aspect. And by strengthening your intuition, whole foods, plant-based diet, exercise, yoga, hydration, meditation, community, therapies, self-love, rituals, and so forth. These are my pillars of a conscious pregnancy. I hope that this video helps, even if it just helps one person, because I find this to be such valuable information. Thank you so much for watching, and do not hesitate to reach out if you have any questions, would like any guidance on any one of these topics. Thank you.